Heminger from the Incentive Mentoring Program. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Why are you laughing?
Because you are hilarious.
Gotta have some. Hey, lady, I cannot be bored. I have attention deficit disorder. I think the lead chip, and I don't remember eating any lead paint as a child, but Marsha, you don't know nothing about no lead paint, do you? Well, hold that thought for a second, Marsha. Sarah, tell them about this incentive mentoring program.
Well, the idea for IMP actually started many years ago. I actually grew up in Indiana, and
I've been to Indiana.
in Indianapolis.
I've
Oh,
been to
okay.
Indianapolis, fifth richest state in America.
I didn't know that.
Oh, y'all filthy rich out there.
Didn't know that. But when I had a very life-changing experience in high school where I met a young man who, at the time I met him, I was a freshman, he was a senior, and he was a straight A student on his way to the Naval Academy, varsity athlete. He was what you would picture as like your stereotypical Indiana Hoosiers dreamboat, at least in my mind. And I would hear rumors about him, though. People would say his mom's a crack addict, his dad's in prison, and those weren't the type of rumors that normally went around our high school. It was more like who made out with who. But how do you exactly walk up to a friend and be like, so is your mom a crack addict? It's a little awkward. Um, anyhow,
You do it with sensitivity.
well, I didn't do it at all. My 14-year-old brain couldn't really, I wasn't mature enough to have that conversation, but eventually he explained to me what had happened. And his mom, when he was in junior high, had been in a car accident. She was temporarily paralyzed. She was unable to work, so she lost her job. They ended up losing their home. They moved from suburbia to Section 8 housing, went on public assistance, and he basically went from, she then became very depressed, addicted to the painkillers she'd been prescribed, began selling them, began selling other things, and he essentially went from cornfields to crack house in about 9 months. Failed his,
Don't take long.
right, failed his freshman year classes in high school.
Worrying about moms.
I'm not sure what, yeah, I think just
I mean, that's a lot on your plate.
Well, and they didn't have electricity at times. They didn't, I mean, he would tell me stories about um, trying to make the decision between electricity and gas and the logic of, well, you go with electricity because you can microwave hot water to bathe in and you can cook food. Things that, you know, my 14-year-old brain wasn't used to processing. So
Amen.
I tried
You had to
to,
grow up fast dealing with him. He had to certainly grow up fast.
yeah, exactly.
And so I'm taking, you see similarities here in the city of Baltimore.
Well,
Kids raising themselves.
exactly, and what I was trying to understand though with him is how in the world did you go from straight F's to straight A's in the Naval Academy? So that's what didn't add up. Like, okay, you're on track to fail out of high school. How do you go from failing out to going to the Naval Academy?
He wasn't failing, he just was dealing with life.
But he had
could,
failed his classes his freshman year. Like, by all accounts, he was failing. You're right, he wasn't, but by all accounts,
he was surviving.
ex- that's exactly right. But how do you survive and thrive? How do you not just survive, but how do you actually thrive?
Black people been doing it 500 years in this country. This ain't been no cakewalk, lady.
I understand. I think for him, though, it was a matter of two things. One, he had to make decisions every day to get up and go to school and do the things he needed to do to thrive in that environment.
Amen.
But two, there was a group of teachers who did everything from, they basically tried to make the decision easier. They tried to encourage him. They basically said, what are the basic human needs that aren't being met? Like, you don't have food? We're going to bring you food. We're not just going to tell you you can do better.
And that's what we like to see more of in the Baltimore City public school system. Love. Love.
Right, so they treated him like family, not like some random
Baltimore
kid
City
in a
public
class.
schools used to be like that. I grew up proud of. A lot of us are concerned that that love, you know, whether or not that love is still there. So we have to bring Dr. Andres Alonso on here and ask him about the love. Where is the love?
Well,